name is Sherley.
And I'm Brandy.
And welcome back to Unspoken Transitions, where we talk about the nuances of adulthood and the challenges that people don't really talk about. So we got some housekeeping items.
Yes, so as most of you might already know, we have a vision board party that we are hosting on Saturday, January 20th. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come out. We are going to have all types of vision board materials. You get to meet other like-minded individuals in the New England area, and we're just gonna have food, music, just a really good time, and hopefully get a chance to meet a lot of y'all in person who listen to our podcast too. So all tickets are available via Eventbrite, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, shoot us a message, an email, anything like that, and we really hope to see y'all there. So again, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, we got all the materials, we got the food, we got all of it. So like, it's gonna be such a good vibe. We really hope you can make it, and definitely buy the ticket. We don't want it to sell out. So.
Yeah, and we also do have a discount code up until
the 31st.
The 31st, up until the end of December. So 2024 vision, I'll drop that in the description box as well. But you can get $5 off your ticket.
Yes, let's go. Hope to see you there. And for today's topic, we are dressed up in Christmas stuff, as you can see. And we're going to be talking about holiday loneliness. The holidays can be a time filled with cheer and everything, but even think about some college students who have parents outside of the country. Like, it can be difficult for them to feel that joy that they experience and engulf in their culture like they would if they were home. So we're going to talk a little bit about those feelings and how to cope and work through those.
Absolutely. And I also want people to know that this is more common than a lot of people think. Holiday loneliness is very real, whether you're living, away from home, you recently moved out, maybe this is your first holiday being single in a while, maybe you had a loss in your family. There are just so many reasons as to why someone can feel alone during the holiday season. So we want to acknowledge all of those and how difficult they really can be.
We got you. Before we dive into it, I want to ask you, what is your favorite holiday movie or book?
I love this question. I really love The Polar Express. It is like hands down my favorite Christmas movie. I will watch it every year. There's just something so warm and comforting about it, and I love the message of if you just believe. And it's such a beautiful message, such a beautiful story, and I love that. That just reminds me of Christmas. And I recently watched Home Alone, the second one.
Oh.
And that was, I didn't realize how much I liked that movie until I saw it again after years and years of not seeing it. So those are some movies that get me kind of in the Christmas spirit. Yeah.
I agree with Polar Express. I don't see it every year, but it is such a cozy like Christmas movie, and like, oh, you don't believe, but like, just look at being a little bit positive, believing a little bit how far it can bring you. That is such a beautiful thing. And what was the second one you said?
Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch those because it's been like a decade or so. I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, Disney Plus.
It is on Disney Plus. Is my brother's on? I need to check.
We'll
figure that out. But no, facts. I do need to watch Home Alone again because everyone like loves that movie, and I'm like, all right, why does it hold a dear place in everyone's heart? I need to rewatch it. For myself, this is not traditional, but I love the SpongeBob Christmas special, the one from like 05, like the early 2000s one. I don't know what they're doing with these new episodes, but the early 2000s one, because I don't know, just Squidward being annoying, and like SpongeBob, like the Christmas song and everything, and Mr. Krabs singing. Like every year I watch it as like a tradition. So that's like an episode. In terms of a movie, I used to say it was Rudolph until I watched it like a couple years ago, and then I realized the message wasn't so good. But Jingle Jangle is actually really good. I'm down to rewatch it. It is so cute. It is so cute. And I think it really hits home as adults, because I think as kids you watch Christmas movies and you're just like, oh my gosh, yes, Christmas. But I think Jingle Jangle hits another level where it's like, we understand the challenges that happen from when you're a kid to an adult, disappointments that take place that make you just unhopeful. And I think it helps them overcome that journey and like get to a better place. But the story is just so realistic, down to earth, and I'm like, all right, this is so relatable. So
I have to watch it. It's been on my list since last year.
You gotta watch it. And if you like musicals, like It got all the music, so.
Yeah, but that's like a real musical.
Yeah.
I feel like. Because I'm used to like the High School Musical, but that's like a real musical.
What you mean real musical? Like it doesn't, like.
It's giving it like theater musical.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like some musicals aren't really, they break out in song, but it's not giving theater. So I really like that Jingle Jangle kind of gives that feel.
Yeah, it does. Such beauty. You need to let me know when you watch it.
Yeah,
it's
I
so
will.
good.
I will.
And oh yeah, this is like more adult, like that's like a lighter note. So on the adult level, how do you have a balance between embracing the holiday and avoiding the holiday stress?
I just try to remind myself of the reason for the season. Jesus is the reason. Point blank period. So I just try and remind myself of why all of this is happening, because I think there's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's a lot of stress of trying to make it to different family gatherings, or trying to purchase gifts for a bunch of people, or just trying to figure out your schedule during that time. So it can be very overwhelming to get a lot of things done by the end of the year, but I just try and take a step back and remind myself of what is the reason for all of this. And I feel like that kind of grounds me in some ways, and it's just helpful for me to kind of center myself.
Yeah, that is real. Like the point of Christianity, it is for Jesus' arrival. He is the hope for the future, and we're just celebrating that. That is why we're doing this. Like, yes, we have capitalism, consumerism, all of the above, and we give our gifts to our friends and family because we care about them, we love them and everything. And on top of that, don't lose your mind and stress yourself out about something that is supposed to be around someone joyful and someone who's supposed to bring hope and everything. On the non-Christian end, I would say, you know what, before I answer that, the way I balance it is I do Secret Santas. So like it takes away the stress of buying gifts for 30 plus people. It allows you to just focus on giving one intentional gift to like one person. So I do that with like my immediate family, like with the cousins. The parents will not do that, but I do it with like the cousins and like my brothers and stuff like that. And by doing that, I can get one gift for somebody. It'll be something that they want. It's kind of like a fun little tradition that we started last year, and it's less pressure and stress on us because there's a lot of family, like there's so many family members. So taking that pressure off has helped a lot. So if you can do something like that, like a Secret Santa, giving one gift, or giving what you can, do some DIYs, give someone something that like they have been wanting for a while. It doesn't need to be hundreds and thousands of dollars. It could be an experience, it could be an activity that's just like affordable, something fun that's for the new year, for example, so you don't have to spend the money now. Something that's $20 or $30 that they enjoy all the time, taking them out to eat, and just reminding yourself that they'll appreciate your presence, they appreciate you for who you are. They're not so focused on that like gift, so don't feel stressed to spend $200 per person per gift, because if you have it, go for it, but if you don't, then we understand why. So I try to balance it too like that. And my struggle has also been getting into the festive spirit. Like I feel like time goes by so quickly, so by the time I'm like Christmas tree and everything, it's like December 20th. So I'm like, you know what, let me start, like, people are gonna look at me crazy, it's either you hate it or you love it. I started at the beginning of November. I was like, I'm
the same way. You know I am.
I'm glad you understand, because people are like, you need to wait for Thanksgiving. I'm like, time goes by too fast. By the time I wait for Thanksgiving, Christmas is 2 weeks away, and then I didn't watch any movies or anything like that. So I bought my decorations beginning of November, put them up mid-November, everything. I was watching Christmas movies like every couple times a week by then, and that's how I got into the spirit. But what I will say, this is something I was talking to a friend about. As a kid, your school sets you up for the festive spirit. Like, everything sets you up. You go to the mall, it's on TV, but now it's like Netflix, and you're not as engulfed with the commercials and stuff like that. So if you want to feel the Christmas spirit, you gotta put in the work. You gotta like create it. And my friend always said it in college. I used to be like, what do you mean? But it's true. Like, you need to watch the movies, make the cookies, have movie nights, like hang out with your friends, or the Christmas season will go by and you'll be like, why was Christmas my favorite season, for example? So you gotta, as an adult, you gotta make it. You gotta make it happen. The magic is not dead. It's just not, you're not surrounded by it as much. So
yeah, I think that's important, especially as young adults who don't yet have children. I think a lot of people are more easily able to create that, whether it's the elf on the shelf kind of thing, or putting up the Christmas tree, or buying gifts for your children. I think people think Christmas is more so for the kids, but I think the true reason and gift of giving, all of that can be implemented in any stage of life. But you're right, especially as young adults who don't have kids yet, we really have to create those memories for ourselves.
Yeah, and if we don't, it won't be there. Yeah. So put in the work. You're not bugging. You just gotta like put in some work for it for sure. And diving into our topic, have you ever experienced like loneliness during Christmas time?
Yeah, I think I have in some senses, and I think people often think loneliness is physically not having people around, but you can be in a room full of people and still feel lonely. And I think that's a level of emotional loneliness that a lot of people experience, whether it's some people feeling like they're in a room with their family who just don't understand them, or feeling overlooked, feeling invisible, just so many different feelings that people might have that might make them feel lonely in the holiday season. But for me, I think there have been some moments where I've definitely felt lonely, and maybe not lonely more so, but that the holidays are different than they used to be. I don't know if that's necessarily lonely, but it's kind of coming to terms with, okay, there are new memories that I'm creating and I appreciate the old ones, but my holidays won't be the way they once were again. So for me, I think it's a sense of loneliness in that way.
It's kind of like the past happened, it was great, we're transitioning to something new, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's different, and I still love it, but like I kind of miss the past. I kind of miss the old times. Yeah. What about you? Have you experienced loneliness in any of the parts of the holiday season? I was gonna say no when like I was like, you know, running through our questions and everything, but I do resonate in terms of the emotional part. It's like in college especially, I didn't feel like my family understood me or accepted me for who I was. It was always kind of like who they wanted me to be, attributes they wanted me to have, how I should be acting. So around the holidays it was just stressful. It was just like, all right, I have to put this mask up and like act a specific way and like cross my T's, dot my I's, act this way, and it was just a lot of pressure. And sometimes I would just be like, yo, honestly, if I could just like stay in this dorm during Christmas time, which is hilarious, like crazy to some people, because like, yo, we try to escape the dorm to like, you know, spend time with friends and family. But in some years I've been like, if I don't feel like I'm gonna be understood and I have to put up this act, I'd rather just like not be around them. But that was definitely tough, because it's true, you're in a room filled with like 15, 20, 30 people, and I'm out here on my phone scrolling, because it's just like, I mean, I don't really have much to talk about with people and everything, or I don't really know what to say, or I can't really share my real thoughts because I don't think that you're actually going to hear me and understand who I am. I feel like it's going to be corrected or changed or whatever. So I definitely understand it in the emotional sense, like 100%.
Just feeling disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected completely.
Yeah, and that's a scary place to be when you are physically in a room full of people and you are feeling lonely.
Yeah, and like, you know, they're being encouraged and everything, or like making jokes, and I'm just like, yo, honestly, I'd rather just like go back to campus right now. So it's tough. And in those moments I say to people, just still be true to yourself, still be yourself. Don't, like, yes, you're in this moment of stress and it's annoying and everything, and also realize that you're growing into the person you want to be and you are meant to be. So don't, because you're being put down in like maybe a family setting or anything, or they're discouraging you, don't internalize that and then now try to like, all right, I guess maybe I shouldn't have grown in this way or done this or anything, because then you're backtracking in terms of growth, and your intuition is real, how you've grown is real, your perspectives and opinions are real. So just remember to stay strong. It sounds so like like rainbows, but like stay strong and like stay true to your values despite the people around you saying that they don't matter.
Absolutely. And I think in light of even some of the Christmas movies that we shared earlier that we really liked, or Christmas episodes, it paints a picture of what people think Christmas is supposed to look like, right? A bunch of people, all of the decor, all of the lights, just everything being picture perfect. And that's not the reality for a lot of people. And I think people minimize their experiences, or it can make people feel even more lonely when that's not the case. Maybe it's you watch a movie, I don't know, like this Christmas with all that huge family, and you're going home and you maybe just have yourself and your spouse and maybe like your pet, like your dog or your cat, right? That experience isn't bad. But I think when we set up expectations from these movies of what Christmas is supposed to look like, we don't necessarily appreciate the space that we have created. So I think it's embracing what we do have as well. I think that's kind of another piece of it.
It's true. And just like going back to the point where it's like Christmas is about having joy, spending time with people who love you, and just embracing that rather than, like you said, the comparison of what it should be, how it should look like. Because time with your family and everything, man. You know what this reminds me of? Christmas Carol. They've done so many variations, but a Christmas Carol, because it's just like, he was so grumpy and upset and everything about his life that he didn't appreciate any of his past, and he had like a really fun like past and everything, but he just never appreciated it to the point where like now he's old, he's like, oh my gosh, like I really blew this, I blew that, I blew that. So like we say all that to say things are hard and there are difficult things that happen, and also find the things that bring you joy, find the things that you are grateful for, because there are certain moments and seasons that don't last forever. And when you fail to appreciate it, it's when it's gone that you were just like, oh my gosh, like I wish I like really embraced this and stuff like that. And I know we have a gratefulness episode, but I think it's true. You have your new family, you have your own traditions, start your new things. And if you feel like it's lackluster, it's your life. You can start a new tradition anytime. Like me and my family, I was talking to my sister-in-law, and we were just like, oh, let's start playing some games with like the family and everything. Like, let's just like start doing some new stuff, because why not? Like, you know, maybe for several decades we were just opening gifts and like we prayed and peace out, but now like let's try to bond a little bit more as a family. So feel free to create your own traditions, whether you see it in a movie or not. Like maybe you saw it in the movie and you're just like, you know what, I want to recreate this with my family and get everyone together. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna be like pulling teeth, because my family is not like a yeah, but like they're kind of like a, oh, we don't want to do it until you give them a little nudge, and then they'll like do it or whatever. So
yeah. And I would say on top of that, remind yourself that it truly is just a season. It's only a couple of months. I know in the thick of it, it can seem so much longer, but it's gonna pass, especially if it's challenging. And if it's not your first holiday season kind of doing it alone, I would also remind yourself that you've been through it before. What were the coping strategies that worked for you before that helped you to get through it? Like implement those again. If it's not broken, revisit those same coping strategies to kind of get you through that time, because it is hard.
It's true. Yeah, revisiting the coping strategies is like a big one. Like just reminding yourself of your value, like how you can exit from certain conversations that make you feel uncomfortable, how you can keep yourself safe during this time, because sometimes it's not as simple as, oh, like, yeah, I'm just gonna like power through. Sometimes it really does take a big effect on your mental health, and sometimes even your physical health, where you feel like sick to even like go and like see certain people and everything. And we're validating those feelings. It is very difficult.
It is.
And we want to leave you with like the hope of it doesn't last forever, it will end soon. And also putting things into practice so that you can get through it in a way where it doesn't affect you several weeks or days afterwards. So I agree with that. Some of my coping skills were, for me, I just use my phone. Like that's what I did. Like I'll go on my phone, I'll get sucked into something else, download a puzzle or whatever. Or there are certain things that like they might say that trigger you on purpose to say or act a specific way. I feel like it's tough, but like work to recognize what those triggers are, those questions are. Like, oh, is this a question because like they actually want to know, or is this a trap because they're trying to like, you know, come at me, or like whatever the case may be. So try to like identify those, and once you kind of like figure out what it is, don't even really entertain it or give like a one-word answer to shut it down and go from there.
Boundaries are important in the holiday season too. So whether it's people asking you questions, or even like you said, for your spending habits, right? Like we just had an episode on finances. So for example, with your spending, maybe it's a thing of, okay, I don't have this amount to spend. That's a boundary that I'm setting with my finances. So boundaries are definitely important in this season too. And I want to remind people that you're not alone. A lot more people are experiencing this than you think, than people may portray on social media or in person. People can mask feelings very well. So I think remind yourself that you are not alone, and it's comforting to know, although it's awful to think that other people might experience something similar, it's comforting to know that you're not alone in that experience too. And like you said, like create new rituals, create new traditions, especially maybe if you like faced a loss or like a recent breakup or something of that sort too. Like find ways to commemorate or remember some of the beautiful experiences that you did have with with people in the past, and create new rituals that do bring you joy and comfort too.
Yeah, you're not alone in this. Like, especially as adults, the mask is very strong, and people, you'll think everything is amazing, or people even describe certain things going on, you'll think that their life is perfect, but everyone is battling their own thing, whether it's physically or just mental, emotionally. So so I guess we have to say, don't put certain people and situations on a pedestal. If only I had a family like this, or if only I had this, and maybe my Christmas or my holiday would look like that, because they're struggling with their own stuff too, and you might be like, well, if I had that, I would have been good. You might not be good. Like, you might think that they're good, and they're struggling with like a whole other thing that they threw in the back of their car, and you don't even know what it is. So don't even wish to be in other people's situations, because like, you don't know what's happening. I know we talked about like relationships before. Like, you think these relationships are like willy-nilly and beautiful and X, Y, and Z, and then you find out all of this stuff in the back door, and you're like, goodness gracious, like that was a lot. So
yeah, everything is not what it seems.
It really is not what it seems. Like, in our lives, and you're everywhere, like all of us definitely try to present as our best selves and want to make it seem like life is good and everything, and also we all are struggling. So try not to put those things on a pedestal, because everything is not what it seems. 100%.
Yeah, and in terms of boundaries too, I know you mentioned you going on your phone was helpful, but I know for a lot of people too that may not be helpful to you. So understand yourself and your limits. That might work for Sherley and it helps her get through, and it might not work for you. So like, set your own limits. So for example, some people, the holiday ads or going on social media feeds and seeing everyone celebrating with their family is very triggering. I understand that. So what works for Sherley, you seeing those notifications of so-and-so just posted, it may not work for you. All right, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves that it might not work for you, and that's okay, but try something else that will. And something that's helped me too is this year I really tried to attend local holiday events to kind of get me more in the Christmas spirit. So tree lightings that were happening, or other things, seeing holiday lights, that's something that I tried to do this year to kind of help me get more in the spirit, and that's not something I really did before. But it's been beautiful to kind of see people come together to celebrate.
Yes, I've also hopped into some traditions too. Like, I went to Snowport the other day. Like, I've never done that. It was nice.
How was it?
It was cute. They had like little like concession stands like all over, like in the Seaport area, and they call the Seaport Commons, and like it was really cute. They had hot chocolate, they had like crepes, they had like
so it was worth going.
I think it was worth going.
Because I don't know, in my head I was like, is this overrated?
I mean, I wouldn't say expect like the biggest thing in the world, but it is cute to walk around and see the huge Christmas tree and like the food and some like Christmas knickknacks and everything that you might like really enjoy. So they're expensive, but I just did some window shopping. I didn't go to shop. I went for window shopping to experience the spirit. Got some hot chocolate, got an apple cider donut, you know, little things for like $5 or whatever, but I was not about to spend $70 on a sweater. That's just me though.
So it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Okay.
I mean, you can spend money, but for me, it was just
all right.
A vibe, plainly.
You might have changed my mind.
I mean, they're open till the end of the year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. But yeah, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please send an email to unspokentransitions@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and we wish you a happy holiday season to you and your family. Stay safe and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.